at the next National Energy Crisis Committee meeting. Ramokgopa briefed the high-level meeting chaired by President Cyril Ramaphosa today on his plan to reduce the impact of load shedding. Kaizer Chiefs has more.
Continue to pollute the air or face persistent load shedding. Those are some of the difficult choices facing the South African government. Electricity Minister Hosientso Ramokgopa hinted at the idea of slowing down the decommissioning of Eskom's ailing power stations. The challenge with this proposal is that it goes against South Africa's commitments to clean energy. At the COP26 in 2021, South Africa committed to ending its reliance on coal. But Ramokgopa has said while renewable energy is the future, getting rid of old power stations should not be done at a haste, especially because of the load shedding problem. Ramokgopa's proposal would need to get the green light from cabinet before it is implemented. Ndayazone Tonje, Eyewitness News.
And the latest G4S employee arrested in connection with Thabo Bester's prison break is expected to appear before the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court tomorrow. A 51-year-old security guard was arrested yesterday, bringing the number of people charged with aiding Bester to escape to 5. Bester fled from the Mangaung maximum security prison run by G4S in May last year, where he was serving a life sentence. Here's the police's Atlenda Mate.
A security guard employed by G4S is expected to appear before the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court on Thursday. He faces a charge of assisting an inmate to escape from lawful custody, as well as defeating the ends of justice.
A fine Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 8 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria 12 and 27. Vereeniging 6 and 26. Lerato Huffela, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited. Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored. High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions. And most importantly, independent in mind. This is a normal response. Are you ready for our sports worldwide?
Has there ever been a boxer older than Bongani who's been a South African champion? Yes, and apparently there was Jack Lawler.
Yes.
Started boxing in 1896 and stopped boxing in 1919. He was a welterweight champion, middleweight champion, and he went all the way up to heavyweight, and he was 44 years of age. So he just peaked Bongani here by year 2.
So do we consider guys who were alive during Jan van Riebeck's time?
Changing and re-engineering sports on the continent and the world.
Do they understand the magnitude of having to represent their country at an Africa Cup of Nations?
Then we try to make it as simple as possible to make them understand that they're in the window of the world. But we've also made it quite clear to them, it's not what you do as an individual. It's how you do whatever you can do as an individual within a team.
#MSW.
Man, just unstoppable. I mean, the form that they're in now, I think it's 10 wins on the bounce, 37 goals in the last 10 games. I mean, I know some of those include, big results in the Champions League as well.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
And it's about us, not to allow them to get the momentum, and maybe to get the first goal, and then they will feel that there's still a lot to play for in these 90 minutes. So the best way of dealing with that is just how I said, play our style of football, even though we know it's going to be very hard, but get the momentum on your side and try to be very efficient. There are talks, obviously there are talks in the background. I think that's quite normal with just a couple of months left. But without going too much into detail, there's nothing decided yet, not from my side, not from the club side, so the talks, they continue. And if there is something if there's a decision at one point, you guys will be the first ones to know. Sometimes just clicks and then you know, okay, this is the way to go. And at the moment it feels just as a perfect fit for everyone.
Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Definitely it's a good news for us, and of course he has trained just one training session yesterday, but we decide travel with us and be in the bench. I've been here in Bayern Munich and I know the mentality of this club. It's in everywhere. In the Sevenstrasse, is in the skin. And I know what they believe. They can do it. We believe too. We're going to defend for sure. So it happened in Manchester that part of the game they were better and we had to defend. We're going to defend tomorrow. The approach right now will be the same. So come here, knowing the quality that they have, adapt quick, and maybe some new formation of the opponent or the way you're going to play and do our game. So we just talk about the game you have to play, not talk about the result we had in 1 week ago, what was going the consequences about the future happiness. What do you have to do in the game, and focus in every single action. What do you have to do to try to get the result as best as possible to reach the semi-final?
What's the best result as far as reaching the semi-finals concerned? Pep Guardiola chatting to the media ahead of a big game tonight. Yeah, the wrap-up of the UEFA Champions League. Bayern Munich up against the Manchester City. I mean, they're preparing to finish them off, eh? They beat the German champions 3-0 in the first leg. Erling Haaland redefining the role of a modern striker. And here's a guy who scored, 47 goals in 40 games in all competitions. And possibly has about 13 more games to play this season. 47 goals in 40 games. Maybe my guest sitting in front of me right now will try and break it down to normal man's language, because for me it just defies logic. We'll get to that in a second. But also Ilkay Gundogan insisting that no decision has been made on his Manchester City future with just 2 months left on his contract. A certain team by the name of Barcelona are said to be interested in his services. Will he be able to go across there? I doubt it. I really think that he has cemented his place at Man City, and I really think that he will stay rooted. You're listening to Marawa Sports Worldwide, live at 947. You're also live on Sowetan Live, Rise FM, as well as Sowetan Live, Vuma FM. We're live on YouTube, so if you want to see the person that I'm going to be chatting to next, I suggest you go live on YouTube, because you probably haven't seen him in a long time, especially in an interview scenario. Well, if I'm not mistaken, it was probably about 12 years old when I last spoke to him in a studio. Remind me, I don't remember, but yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, what an ambassador this man has been for our country. A rare breed of talent with an attitude and precariousness as well. Technical abilities that has made him stand out from a very, very early age. Now, most of his teammates were playing a flamboyant type of game, shibobos and tamayas and so on. And they were sought after. As goals were left a begging. But this man kept his football very, very simple, skillful. And that is why his journey has been so remarkable. I mean, what a journey it's been for this man, and what a pleasure to have him here today. Kamohelo Mokotjo, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Rob. Great to be on here.
How are you doing, though? I mean, it's been a while. I mean, good to see you back home, finally playing in the Premier Soccer League.
Yeah, it's good to be back home. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Of course. Obviously, Sekhukhune United secured my services. And I was grateful for that. And I was grateful for that because, there were a lot of external factors when it came to other clubs. And I'm a footballer, and all I wanted to do is play football.
External factors. You're a 32-year-old now, eh? No longer a 12-year-old. So you and I will talk, big man talk, direct talk. When you talk about external factors, let's shoot right at it.
Yeah.
It was Kaizer Chiefs. They wanted you. They wanted to sign you. And when you talk about external factors, break that down for me.
No,
what does that mean?
I had talks with numerous clubs in the country. Obviously, let me start by telling you my history. You know, I hadn't played a game since November
2020.
2021 or 2022. Yeah, I think November 2021.
Yeah,
hadn't played a game since then because of injuries. You know, I had an injury which I recovered from, and then it reoccurred 6 months later.
Yeah,
and so that happened. You know, a lot of clubs in Europe asked the same questions too, as to, what are we gonna? We like him. He's a good player. He's this and that, but does he fit into the squad? Does he?
Yeah.
Whatever. So I came back to the country, and that was still the same situation. So that was that was a bit surprising for me, but you know, I came back not expecting, you know, to be signed by the big three or whatever. I came back expecting to get an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
You know, because I know my career has been nothing but smooth. You know what I mean?
Correct.
I had talks with numerous clubs. You know, it was Kaizer Chiefs. It was Amazulu was in there too.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that was that. Things never materialized, and you know, I'm always quick to tell my manager. You know, in Bashir, I'm always quick to tell her, like, no, this is not what I want. I don't want the political side of things. You know, I don't want the stress. I just want to play football. So I never came back for monetary reasons. I just wanted to play football, and Sekhukhune United gave me that opportunity, and which I'm very grateful for.
Which was a surprise, though.
Yeah.
Because we never linked you with the Sekhukhune United, ever. So when you talk about external factors, and you've mentioned this in an interview before, what were the likes of Kaizer Chiefs expecting from you besides playing football?
No, I think certain people have a certain perception of you. Kam was like this, Kam was like that. And
tell me those perceptions, though. It'll be great to know, because I might share the ones I've heard from my side to you. But you are the subject matter right now. Yeah.
No, I just think when you've played for so long abroad, then people have a certain perception of you. That, no, maybe he's an expensive player. You know, he comes from abroad. You know, he prefers a certain lifestyle, or but I'm a simple guy. You know, I know where I grew up. I know who brought me up. So I mean, so I keep at that. You know, that's my core. That's my foundation. And you know, people are entitled to their opinions. I mean, I think that's what happened, and talks went fruitful with those clubs. You know, questions like, why are you coming back? You know, why are you coming back? Why would you want to play for an Amazulu, for instance?
Jeez.
You know, why would you want to play for when the big three are there, you know?
Yeah.
But you get a Sekhukhune United, you know, I love integrity and I like humility, you know. You get a Sekhukhune that's there, and they're very upfront and direct when it comes to their approach. And I appreciated that. And that gives a player a good feeling, because at the end of the day, I'm a player. To the media, you know, I'm this guy that's spent 13, 14 years
14
overseas.
years overseas, no, but you're a superstar. You see, I think that's the word you're avoiding. I will call you that because you've earned it.
Yeah.
You know, Kamohelo Mokotjo is not just a normal player. You have a history with us in this country. And when you got that injury in 2020, in January, in the FA Cup against Leicester, that is what triggered this on and off knee injury of yours.
Surprising. I think you're the only one that knows that. Yeah.
We don't walk into interviews having just come off a golf course.
No, that's lovely. Yeah. So FA Cup, Leicester City. I got that injury. Unfortunately, I think all my injuries have been unfortunate.
Yeah.
And one injury led to another, you know. But luckily enough, you know, like the medical staff, like overseas, is very, you know, they have a lot of people on the medical staff, and I was able to overcome that.
Yeah.
And then there was something else that happened, and then, you know, missing out on the playoff final against Fulham. So I mean that was really tough for me, you know, because I know how I know what the technical staff felt about me at Brentford, and I mean that happened, and they had to make a choice, you know.
You can't dribble me on that one. When you say what the technical staff felt about you at Brentford, was it a good feeling? Was it an accommodative feeling? Was it a welcoming feeling?
I think I think from the moment I signed, they realized that I brought a different dimension to the club. Well, with Brentford and clubs like Brighton, they do everything on data. So when you do get signed at those clubs, you get signed on merit.
Yeah.
You know, you need to keep up your numbers.
Sure.
You know, in all departments. You know what I mean? And I did that coming from FC Twente. Even though I should have signed a year before, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because obviously I didn't have enough national team games under my, you know.
So I know we're going to get to the Bafana stuff, because there was all sorts of drama around you, the national team, around the Sheikhs Mashaba era, around home affairs, you know. They were not willing to let you play. I think the game against Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah.
It was. So there was a problem.
Yeah, no, so, No, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
I think
but,
for the first time you'll get a chance to kind of get it off your chest. What were the issues? What was the problem? So you rightfully say that as much as we had pinpointed the fact that you are getting game time, you playing regularly, you're the son of the soil, you've represented at under 12, Denon Cup winner, the player of the tournament in that Denon Cup, but all of a sudden you're being left out of contention for your national team, which didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I think that year I was the best performing player in Europe from South Africa.
Yeah.
And things were said about me, but I just decided, like, if I want to make a move to England, and I've lived there for more than 5 years, then I apply for my Dutch citizenship, and now I have Dutch double nationality. I'm Dutch and South African, or South African and Dutch, you know. So, you know, so I don't. So that's I did what I had to do.
But the Home Affairs here were talking about you'd have to renounce one. You can't have dual.
Yeah.
But then it's going to mess up the story that's going to be coming up after the break. So, Kamohelo Mokotjo chatting to me right here at Marawa Sports Worldwide. Do join the conversation. We are live on YouTube. We also can take your comments live on YouTube. But feel free as well to use our WhatsApp voice note message number to send us any question, any comment, because I think he's a man who doesn't readily and ever so often grant interviews. And we just feel very pleased and blessed that he's been able to grant us this unique platform to give to him, to share his story, his journey, but also for us to welcome him back into the country and say, welcome back, soldier, welcome back, son of the soil, and find out how he's finding life at Sekhukhune United, who, incidentally, they're going to be playing against Kaizer Chiefs, this coming weekend.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live.
In 3, 2, 1.
On 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live.
#MSW. Get up to speed while you chill. Make it festive fun this April. Upload, download, explore, push play. Have a happy April holiday. With the Oppo A57s, you get so much more for less. Dual camera and great battery. Snap up another hot selfie. For only $249 per month over 36 months on a 1.2 gig red core plan. A saving of 720 Rand. Yes! Deal valid on new contracts till 8 May at Vodacom for you stores. T's and C's apply.
It's thrilling, it's rewarding, it's Lotto Star's Real Rush Games. Feel a euphoric rush when you spin the reels on Hot Fruit, Wealth Inn, Egyptian Dreams Deluxe, Hey Sushi, Santa's Village, Looney Blocks and more. Slot your way to instant payouts of up to 2 million Rand with our Real Rush Games. Lotto Star, your world of live games.
Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Are you feeling rushed and stressed with traffic, laundry, dinner and the rest? Worried about the dark hours creeping near because of the pesky sheds? Oh dear. I shame. South Africa, you need a reason to smile. MasterChef and savings are back at Spar. Shop and collect stickers every time you spend 100 Rand or more and save up to 70% on the gold and silver colored MasterChef cutlery collection or the MasterChef cast iron casserole dish. Turn every meal into a MasterChef moment only when you shop at Spar. T's and C's apply. Spar, we're for smiles.
The time has come to buy a car. You're shopping, browsing near and far. You're looking for a new ride, but the right one hasn't come. You saw some on the internet, but found We Buy Cars instead. Cars, buckies, bikes and more. We Buy Cars has got them all. We have what you desire. Just come to us, we are the ones to trust. We have what you desire. Come to We Buy Cars, we're the best by far.
WeBuyCars.co.za, the best way to buy a car by far.
Rolling Stone calls it deliciously dark. The Hollywood Reporter calls it TV's best show of the century. While Tabang Modiadia from Deep Sleuth calls it the most riveting example of modern-day Shakespeare. Everyone's talking about the 4th season of the Emmy Award-winning series Succession. Don't miss the drama, deception, and family betrayal in the final chapter of this gripping HBO show. Sign up to watch at showmax.com.
Welcome to Hacks with Mac, Extreme First Home Edition. Starting out is tough, so here's a money-saving tip for you. Always visit mom on Sunday, lunchtime, and bring a scafftin, the big one. Just like that, Sunday lunch becomes Monday lunch, and so on and so forth until it's Sunday again. Another tip to save you money? For your laundry, use MAC washing powder. It works really hard on tough stains, so you use less. You're welcome. MAC shine on.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
He's a boxing guru, somebody I've spoken to for many, many years. PJ Leopeng is here. When I look at Mahlang, he's got, 33 bouts under his belt. Has never had a sponsor since turning professional. That, for me, worries me a great deal. I mean, he started back in 2006.
Even world champions, you could be a world champion and not get fights. If you're a world champion and you're not fighting, for instance, you don't get paid. You have to get sponsors, and this is where it becomes very, very difficult because sponsors don't just come through. I might say something really that might not be palatable.
Don't worry about it either. We're not a catering company. Yeah. We don't want palatable things.
Exactly.
#MSW. #MSW.
What a professional, what a solid midfielder this country produced in Kamohelo Mokotjo. A great passer of the ball, a solid player, through and through. I mean, if there is one thing about him, is his professionalism. He's always been professional. Every time he was called up to play for Bafana, he will, display that professionalism on him. So, and I'm not surprised that he came back to South Africa. One would have thought that maybe he would have chosen a Sundowns or one of the so-called big teams. But no, he humbly chose to play for Sekhukhune. All that I want to say to him is that we thank him for serving the sport and also, representing us as South Africa abroad very well. I mean, I was looking at his, the assist and the ball accuracy, about 4 years ago, and he was just out of this world. Well done, Kamohelo.
Heartwarming story, heartwarming voice notes. It is a Wednesday, it is Soccer Nights, it is Marawa Sports Worldwide. Welcome to the show. You're live at 947, Sowetan Live, Rise FM, as well as Vuma FM. Kamohelo Mokotjo is my guest tonight, former Brentford player. I'm sure he looks back and says, look at this team. They're sitting pretty these days, hardly in the thread for fight or relegation or anything like that, sitting comfortably at position number 9. I'll ask you about them in a second. But Mkumba Kumaro's WhatsApp voice note, he talks about just being very humble. You didn't choose the big 3 to go play for. You focused on football, which is a traditional thing. Maybe just a direct response to that voice note.
Yeah. I'm very humbled by that voice note. And like I said, I'm a footballer first. And I will always put my profession first before any opinions or any things that want to be made political within the football sphere. I'm very passionate about what I do, and it's deep down. It's deep down. So it's good to hear that some people really, feel with me. They, and this is how they want the sport to be represented. And very heartwarming voice note.
What do you think the perception was of you? And be honest.
Coming from abroad, things that happened while I was at the national team with Coach Shakes.
Yeah.
Arrogant. Quiet, but once you talk to him, you'll feel that there's a different side to him.
Yes.
But no, I'm not that guy. Yeah, of course I'm upfront, and I lived overseas for about
14 years.
14 years, but let's say in Europe, and the people there are very direct towards their coaches. The players are very direct towards their coaches, and there's that space where you can say what you feel.
But it's professional. It's not a personal thing.
No, it's not a personal thing. It's professional, and you come here and you do that, and you have a problem. But I wasn't making a problem out of anything at that time with Coach Shakes, because I wasn't even in the selection. But he just spoke badly about me, in the media. And my coach at the time at FC Twente, I think he's at Ajax now, Ajax Amsterdam, Alfred Trader. He showed me the squad, and then he showed me the interview and what the coach said. And
what hurt you about that interview? What hurt you about what Sheikh said?
I think he mostly. I think in general it was the criticism.
Yeah.
You understand? About a player that he didn't have in the squad.
And he didn't know.
At that time.
And he possibly didn't really know outside of what he's seen. But he didn't have that interpersonal knowledge of you.
Yeah, I think, I'm not sure if he watched any of my games at Twente,
Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too, because, he never came to visit. And I would have, gotten him a nice seat,
Yeah.
And,
be comfortable.
And the große Feste, nice, at Twente. But, yeah, it's just the criticism in general, the other specifics about, shaming my body and saying, you're sluggish and it's whatever, slow and sluggish, and that's his opinion, and I'll take it. But it's just the criticism about criticizing a player that is the best performing player in Europe. That was the best performing player in Europe at that time. And what do I say to that? You know what I mean? What do I say to that? And then my coaches see that, and they're like, "Oh, okay, this is a bit heavy, you know. Is this how it is in your national team?" So I don't know. Yeah, that was that. You know, all the other bits, but it's just, I feel there should be respect. There should be respect. I think when it comes to players and coaches.
But was there any one-on-one post that?
No.
Post
never.
those utterances?
No, never.
Would you have? Would you have taken that opportunity? Would you have taken the opportunity to maybe say, Shakes, you know what, this is who Kamohelo Mokotjo is, actually? Would you have taken that, or would you have left it to him to say, oh, you've made the comments, now try and find me?
No, I would have taken that. I rarely take things personal.
Yeah.
So I would have taken that, but you know, the opportunity never arose for us to take it there, and I was just like, yeah, okay, who's protecting the player at that time? And nobody's protecting the player, and I think that's a problem I also have with, you know, players in our league at the moment.
In the PSL?
Yeah.
No one protects them?
No. Who's protecting the player? Not when it comes to criticism.
Yeah.
But
what stands out locally, though, because that's probably nice and fresh for you as somebody who's spending his time, I won't say a full season, was you kind of midstream and so on.
Yeah.
But when you say not protecting the player now in the PSL, maybe give me a bit of background in terms of what you're observing as being a player not protected.
No, it's simple. Like, I'd obviously make comparisons because...
And we learn from those.
Yeah. And you have to learn from them, you know, or do what you want with them, but I'm going to say it, you know. So, obviously in Europe you have, you know, something called a safeguard. You have a pension fund.
Yes.
For instance. Most South African players don't have that. You know, you have things like medical aid. You have things like, which is standard, you know? Those things are standard. You have like things for psychology, you know, mental health. So it's very important. So it just makes me mad, you know, because I played with so many good players, and it makes me mad that, okay, everyone's saying that this player did this and did that, but nobody did anything to protect them. You know what I mean? So now, and you know, they make them feel like, okay, they're down the drain and there's no coming back up. You know what I mean? So it's those type of things. Yeah, I can call it sentimental or emotional from my side, but you know, I know I played with so many players who have potential, and yeah, maybe I'm a very caring person, you know, but I played with players like Masbusani Zongo, and
yes,
you know, like, where are they now? You know, yeah, maybe there's a caller that will say, yeah, okay, they didn't help themselves or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, there needs to be a system in place to protect our players and help them where they need help.
That's incredible, because you talk about that and almost immediately, I mean, there's a thought that crosses my mind about a certain Anele Ngqongqo, the late.
Yes.
Played for Sundowns.
Yeah. Played with him, yeah.
Played with Emile.
And yeah.
Played with Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And when he passed away, and it's exactly what you're talking about, when he passed away, then there was a story in the city press that they ran that talked about what we would term then a pension fund, where he had access of over 23 odd million rand that he could tap into. So whether he's left the club still keeps it up until a release age where he can then have full access to it.
Yeah.
And people were surprised. They were like, this is crazy. But it is a simple thing. You have a salary as a football player, and you don't really pay for much, because under a club, you're flying for free, you're staying in hotels, you're in camp. Hey, besides your flashy car, everything else can be tucked away for a rainy day. And that's what these clubs usually do. And what you raise is a very important point, because this is where our South African Football Players Union should be stepping in to protect and demand of the clubs to have these pension funds. Yeah. And yet it doesn't happen. Yeah. I think it's only just a rare, SuperSport United here, maybe even Mamelodi Sundowns, I'd have to do all the research, that might provide a medical aid, for example, for football players. Otherwise, after you're done, you're on your own. Cheers. Have a wonderful life. Yeah. If it does become wonderful, which I doubt a lot of the time. So where do we begin then? Because here you are, blessed with the experience, blessed with the knowledge that you have, and now facing a local scenario where they don't have those things in place.
Where do we begin?
That's the question, yeah.
I think for me it's just like early days,
Yeah.
But I'm just individually experiencing what I'm experiencing, and I'm just like, if it's like this for me, how is it for other players?
Mm.
And I feel for them. So I'm not attacking anyone in any sense.
No. I don't.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I'm just saying. But that's the thing. When I told you, like, I'm upfront like this, I'm direct like this, and but I feel there should be a system where to answer your question about where does it begin. I have no idea.
Because the player's got to come first.
Yeah.
I think in South Africa, the player never comes first.
Yeah.
Everybody else comes first. So if we're negotiating for the rights to show games live on TV, who benefits at the end of the day in terms of showing those games? Who plays? Who kicks the ball on that field? So from the top, are we saying to the player, we're here to look after you, or we're here just to make sure that you appear on the field the next time we have a game to show on television, for example? And I mean, I would even hate to know, well, we hardly even give something called a benefit game, a testimonial. If you've spent more than 10 years, South Africans, we don't give. I can probably count Doc Khumalo, Neil Tovey, maybe. I'm not even sure if that was a proper testimonial, who've had testimonial games. And yet, traditionally, Kamohelo, that is something that is almost seen as an unwritten rule in football. To honor football players, the gate takings from that day are then given to that player as a beautiful send-off.
Yeah.
Guys have spent 14 years at big clubs in this country.
Yeah, I mean, I feel we could make so much more, we could make so much more steps into appreciating our legends, appreciating players who spent, a decade at a club or
a decade more.
But when and I think when supporters see that, the supporters see the appreciation, and they see that football in this country is heading in the right direction, and I feel that it is, but yeah, the players need to be put first. That's it.
And they're not. 011-883-8947, 011-883-8947. You can call us directly in studio. That is the voice of Kamohelo Mokotjo, a man who inspired the United States of America, Cincinnati midfielder. I don't even know if he enjoyed his time in America, but he'll tell me if he did. Mtobela Chris on Twitter says, so much talent from Kamohelo. Glad that he's back in the country and will be joining one of the best performing teams in South Africa. He still has so much to offer. Here I am wishing him nothing but the best. Mtombeli Chris Utama Mlambo Mzimkulu. Thank you so much indeed. I hope I didn't leave out any of your names there, Mtomdala. I did. I tried my best.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live.
In 3, 2, 1.
On 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. #MSW.
The Galaxy S23 Ultra's 200 megapixel camera brings you wow-worthy resolution. So much resolution, in fact, that you'll be able to zoom, crop, scale, and print your images without losing any detail. Now that's epic. Buy any Galaxy S23 now and add the Galaxy Watch 5 from only 49 Rand per month. And get free Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, valued at 3,999. Galaxy S23 series. Share the epic. T's and C's apply.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade in your car online? Type www.motors.cars into your web browser, that's motus.cars, and you'll be transported to a one-stop car shop. With thousands of new and used cars from more than 300 dealerships across the country, you'll find everything you are looking for. Visit us at www.motors.cars. Motors.cars. You click, we car.
With 60/60, you can get Checkers' famously low prices delivered in 60 minutes. And prices in store, wait, we've got more. Let's go 60/60. We'll save you fuel too and time in the queue. Let's go 60/60. All the same deals, our savings are real. Let's go 60/60. Less budget stress, order from the best. Let's go 60/60. Save time, money, and fuel. Just 60/60 it. Let's go 60/60.
Oh man, Oscar's night shift just started, but luckily, so has tonight's game. With his attention switched to the pitch instead of the parking lot, he needs just one more result going his way.
Away! This is the final hurdle in Oscar's multi-bet.
With Win Boost, another great feature from Betway, every leg he adds will boost his win by up to 300%.
And there it is, it's a shoe.
He came in like a thief in the night. What a goal, what a win boost, all thanks to Betway.
T's and C's apply. Licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. For gambling counseling, call SARGF on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp 076 675 0710.
Remember, we need a new light fixture.
Aunt Becky can help with that.
And we need to fix up the pool pump.
Uncle Rob knows just the thing.
Or does your whole family work here?
Chamberlain's has been family-owned and run for over 115 years. Everyone's family here, even you.
At Chamberlain's, we pride ourselves on quality-friendly service, and we work hard to ensure that each and every one of our customers feels like family, just like our great-grandfather would have. Chamberlain's, famous for hardware since 1903.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
He's a boxing guru, somebody I've spoken to for many, many years. PJ Leopeng is here. When I look at Mahlang, he's got, 33 bouts under his belt. Has never had a sponsor since turning professional. That, for me, worries me a great deal. I mean, he started back in 2006.
Look, there's an element here of racism, if really I have to be brutally honest. White boxers in this country never struggle with sponsorship. So you ask yourself and say, why do black boxers struggle? You get boxers who are not champions, white boxers, but they get sponsors. World champions, even South African champions, black ones struggle to get sponsors.
Who would we readily say is a boxer that has a sponsor but is not a world champion?
Boxers promoted by one of the biggest promoters in this country. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to really say the name, but I think we can work it out.
#MSW. #MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and good evening to your guest, Kamo. What a good player you got there, Kamohelo, and what a brave man. I think leaving your own country, Mr. Marawa, at the age of 12, and then going away from your parents and your relatives and stay abroad for quite such a long time. It's describing how brave that man is. And what I want to know to him, what keeps him going overseas? Because he hardly see his family while he was still there, and then Lastly, what happened to the move that was supposed to happen for him to join Kaizer Chiefs? Because before he came back and signed for Sekhukhune, there were rumors that he was offered to Chiefs. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show.
Kaizer Chiefs, Kaizer Chiefs, Kaizer Chiefs. A lot of talk, maybe expectation. Maybe just briefly, I know you touched on it earlier on, though. You had a chat with them. There was a possibility of you joining Chiefs.
Yeah, my manager did have a chat with them, and talks weren't fruitful. Talks were short.
Short? Why?
Were short. Yeah. Another, I think, an issue of perception.
Like, why are you coming back? Was that the part?
Not why I'm coming back, but, you're this player, and that comes from overseas, and they have a certain perception of you. You're here for the money, here for this. But I just wanted to play football, and the question was never asked. So I then decided with my manager, Bashia. I then told her, I just need to play football. I've been out for a while. I want to play for these 6 months. So if I get an honest approach from a club with no factors, then...
But why would they talk about money? Would you have asked for the money for them to make that insinuation?
No. I think if they just asked, but everyone can feel, you're in a meeting and you can feel the energy, right?
Yeah.
Energy was off.
Oh, wow.
And that's it.
But was the coach present? Was the coach of the team present?
No, I wasn't in the meeting, but...
So it was just agent to...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she was in the meeting, and energy was off. Don't know why. But, I believe it's what was meant to be. It's what was meant to be, and funny enough, I like those type of scenarios, and then my manager gets back to me and she's like, oh, this is what happened, and I'm like, okay, we move.
Sure. I'll share something which maybe it dispels a little bit about the money issue. I always say that when guys like Lucas went to Leeds, it was public knowledge. South Africa is about the only country that keeps salaries a secret. So Lucas was there. He was earning probably a good 800k a month. Kamohelo Mokotjo, during the height of COVID, the players took it upon themselves to take a pay cut as opposed to the administrators and everybody else.
Yeah, it's true.
So your pay cut, when it was cut, the pay cut, came to 115,000 Rand a week. And you're not going to argue with me because I'm telling the truth, right? And so for anybody to want to step forward and say that you are coming back into the country for the money, they have not done their research. They have no clue what they are talking about, because you would probably do a crowdfunding to pay for the rest of the team if you wanted to brag and be arrogant and be all of those things they describe you to be. But that's the dynamic, and that is why South Africa is in a big problem, because they keep all of these salaries a secret. Why are they keeping them a secret when worldwide they're just public knowledge? Yeah. They know why they're doing that. So clearly you are not motivated by anything to do with the salary, but the need to play football.
Yeah, and that will always be my primary purpose, as long as I'm playing this sport. But yeah, I understand people will have their own opinions, but I'm here to play, and I'm playing. I'm bagging a few 90 minutes right now, and after a year and so months out, so I'm happy. I'm happy to be healthy. And,
8 appearances. That's going solid.
Yeah, that's going solid. Yeah, so I'm grateful for everyone who's helped me at the club, and obviously my partner. Yeah.
You remember this, eh?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we did that interview at the age of 12. I think I was 12.
Yeah, you were 12.
Yeah.
Standing with the great Zinedine Zidane. So Tulani Njap has just posted this on Twitter. Says, what a mature and eye and ear opening, wide-ranging interview. Says, what a leader in the making. Kamohelo Mokotjo is ahead of his time. Very precarious. So those are his words.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the post that he's just popped up. I've retweeted that. If you think we're joking, this is a man who was holding trophies at the age of 12, who was hanging out, you know, maybe it's just his brother. Hey, is it in? Hey, is it done? Well, come here, Zidane, come here. I want to have a quick word with you. You know.
No.
So those are the shoulders you've been rubbing, you know, with all things considered. It's just a case of ultimate respect. But with the 22 Bafana caps that you've had, unless they more, I don't know. I tried to count yesterday.
Yeah, I also don't know.
Came up to 22.
No,
and I'm
yeah.
saying 4.
No, thank you.
So
thank you for informing me. I also didn't know. Yeah.
But that's far too little, man. For a man of your stature, a man of your experience, you're a man of your travels. That perception must have played terribly against you for that number to remain what it is.
Oh, yeah. Obviously not satisfied with the amount of games.
Yeah.
But moreover that, not satisfied with the amount of achievements. You know, I can only be proud of, you know, the achievement in Egypt at the AFCON.
2019?
Yeah.
Just
2019.
You showed people.
Yeah, and then everything was dismantled because obviously SAFA has their vision this
2020 what?
Yeah.
The CEO is coming in tomorrow, actually.
And funny enough, you know, the players that were playing back then are only peaking now. You know, so it would have been something, but you know, you have to respect, you know, protocol.
Yeah.
And we have amazing talent. I just wish that more players could apply their trade overseas, because we have the potential.
Yeah.
We have the potential. So yeah.
Potential and raw talent, basically.
And raw talent.
Yeah.
You know, and it wouldn't take that long to polish that, you know, that raw talent when they get that side. It'll take probably 6 months, a season or so, and then they'll be fine.
I mean, we've seen that young boy. I think he's also in Holland, Swartz.
Yeah.
I mean, what he does with the ball. Started off at half time, you know, when they give the ball boys an opportunity to juggle the ball. Next thing, the cameras were switching on him, and the next thing, studio discussions were talking about him, but he was just a ball boy.
Yeah.
Happened to be from South Africa.
Yeah, I know him. I follow him. Yeah.
You follow him.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Credible talent. And that's what we have in abundance in this country. But here's a quick question coming through on WhatsApp voice note.
To Kamohelo Mokotjo, have you ever noticed what I've noticed? The last 20, 30 years here in South Africa, players are coming overseas with big money to come back to South Africa. But they are nowhere to be found when we're talking about people buying clubs here. Only just the politicians and tenderpreneurs that are coming on board. And by no one player buy a Vets. Vets was selling in a cheap price, but no player came on board and want to buy the Vets. Can you ask why is like that? Ask Kamohelo Mokotjo, the industry. Thank you, man.
Thank you so much indeed. I mean, is that something viable for you? He says a lot of players come back, but none of them get into the business of utilizing some of their funds to buy a football team. He makes mention of Bidvest Wits, then known as Wits University, after 99 years of existence, disappearing just like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's only the players who come from abroad. It's not only the responsibility of players who come from abroad, but I know I have a club of my own, you know, with a partner of mine, Nyakallo.
Okay.
Yeah, the General FC in the Motsepe League in Botshabelo. So, but it's not only our responsibility. I feel it's working together with those people, especially those tycoons, or what did he call them, tycoons? Tycoons and experienced, you know, people who have knowledge in the game, and that's the only way it can work, You know what I mean? To run a successful football club. You know, difficult question, but
you got a team. The bottom line is, you've just told us there is a team in the Motsepe League, which is probably a direct answer to his question, is that you're involved.
Yeah. I am involved, and there's talent, but it's hard. You know what happens down there. But yeah, good. I have a team. I'm trying to be involved, and I hope I stay in there. You know, because so much talent, so much potential. You know, and it's mind blowing, honestly. When you see the ability, mind blowing. But yeah, nobody wants to take the time. I'm trying, but
Motsepe League, First Division, we've heard those stories centered around referees and certain bank accounts. But hey, Nkwali says, kindly ask Kamohelo, does he still have an ambition to don the Bafana Bafana jersey, or has he retired? Have you put out an announcement that?
No, I mean, I don't close any doors, as long as I stay fit and healthy. I keep working hard, and I do everything possible to keep me at my maximum level when it comes to my trade. Then I don't think there's any reason for me to close any doors, Yeah.
But you get disappointed though. South Africa on the continent, we can't qualify for anything. We can't qualify for the very same AFCON you talk about in 2019.
No, I mean, the boys qualified, and I'm very proud.
Yeah.
And you can see they're building something, so yeah, proud of them. But I'm on the outside, just like you at the moment. And
but I'm just saying, like in the build-up to, we were not qualifying, and that was the biggest problem. Is that a World Cup, we started to reminisce 98, Japan, South Korea. We reminisce about all of the World Cups we've qualified for, but the consistency isn't there. And if we can't qualify for AFCON, then what are we going to qualify for?
Yeah, no, I know how South Africans think, and with our history, we expect things to go smooth, but we need to give the coach and the players a chance. Wherever we have to criticize, we can criticize,
Yeah.
And when we have to praise, we have to praise, But they need time. They've qualified, and I think the coach will have more time with them when going into, is it Cameroon?
Yeah, it's a great relief, though. We were all like, finally we have, there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Right, very little time left. Tulani Njapa says, this man destroyed Libya during the 2019 AFCON qualifiers in Tunisia. Maybe my final one with you is, this weekend, Sekhukhune are playing, right?
Yes.
You know who they're playing?
Kaizer Chiefs.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. My headphones are off. They're playing?
Kaizer Chiefs.
Oh, okay. There you are. Are you looking forward to that game? Is there going to be something of how do you feel? I know you're a very chilled guy. Pisces people.
Nice.
Sorry. The same family, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think a game like any other game, sold out already, I think.
Yeah.
But we just need to focus on what we do best, as Sekhukhune.
Yeah.
Try not to get emotional. Stick to the plan, and get the best out of ourselves individually and as a team. That's the most important thing. And as a team, when you watch us, I think you see a threat. So if we can bring that, and I know we will bring that, I think we'll come out as victors on that day.
Champ, thank you so much, man. Kamohelo Mokotjo, my guest here tonight. Playing for Sekhukhune United, back in the country, with so much wisdom to share with us. Baba, good to see you, man.
Cheers, bro.
Everything
Good
of the best.
You too.
Yeah,
Cheers. You too.
We'll chat to you soon. Let me tell you about what happened on this day in history, the 19th of April, 2014. Now, for the very first time, Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho suffered a Premier League defeat at Stamford Bridge after 61 wins and 16 draws in the first 77 league matches at the ground. In his two spells at the club, along came bottom club Sunderland to win 2-1 against the title-chasing Chelsea. Oh, can you believe that, eh? Jose Mourinho, one of my favorite coaches in the world. Who knows? Maybe one day he'll coach Kamohelo Mokotjo.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live.
In 3, 2, 1.
On 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live.
#MSW.